because I did all the electric, and you know, I made sure that I had my designated breakers. You know, I did a 20 amp breaker for in here because I knew we'd be pulling a lot more energy and wattage. So you know, that's a dedicated plug and breaker, and same thing with the mini split.
So you did all the wiring, right?
I did all the wiring.
Yeah.
Yep, she did a good
you got
job.
an electrician in the family, don't you?
Yep, she did a great job. I helped with the plugs and running the wires through the chaseways, and then yeah, you figured out all the important things.
Okay, everybody, I'm standing here with Frazier and Sharon. And I should have said that the other way around. I apologize for that. I'm standing here with Sharon and Frazier.
Correct.
That's a better way of doing it, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Save the best till last.
Oh,
What? Now, I'm sorry, I didn't catch that part.
Save the best till last.
Ah, there you go. Exactly. No, that's not what I meant to do. But anyway.
you fell right into that
I
trap.
did, didn't I? I'm tired already. It's late in the afternoon. Anyway, they showed up at the campground yesterday, and you guys drove all the way over here from the Atlantic side of the Florida Peninsula.
Yes, correct.
That's all we're going to say. We're not going to mention towns and stuff like that. But it was probably a whopping, what, 2.5 hour trip?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Wow. Well, yeah, when you get up on I-10, I suppose so.
Yep.
But anyway, when your trailer came in, and Deb and I both did a double take, it's just beautiful. I mean, it's real striking when you pulled in. So I'm going to let you tell us a little bit about it. Tell us the size of it, the brand of it, things like that. So go ahead.
Well, it's a 16-foot cargo trailer, and it is the manufacturer's Fast Cargo.
Okay.
You've got the Polycore siding, and
7 feet wide.
7 feet wide, 7 foot tall inside.
Okay.
We've got a garage on the back and kitchen up front.
Outside extended tongue.
Yes, we did get the extended
yeah,
tongue,
You did get that, didn't you?
because somebody told us that's the best way to go.
Who will remain nameless.
Yeah.
And of course,
okay.
we got the awning,
Fair enough.
which we like very much.
Yeah. Now, did you get the awning from the manufacturer? Or did you add that later?
We got that installed from the factory.
From the factory. Okay.
Yeah.
Mighty fine. Yeah, and I love the color too. It's just beautiful when it came in here, and I really like the way they did this little thing here on the nose up here on the top, and from a distance it gives the appearance that it's got a slant nose.
Yes.
Yes.
And that's part of the extra package. They call it the blackout package, I think.
Yeah.
So that's what we got. Yeah.
So it was cool the way that was.
Yeah.
And so it's a 7 by 7 tall, right? Is it
Yes.
7 tall?
Correct.
And 16 feet long plus the V.
Yep.
Now, did you install your own windows?
No. We
Okay.
got the factory to install the windows.
Okay, including the ones in the front, I'm assuming. As
Yes.
Well.
Yeah.
And that's one of the first ones I've seen with windows in the front.
Mm-hmm.
Deb has been she wanted me to do that on ours too, but we just had so much stuff going on, we never got to that point. And anyway, she ended up using all the wall space for storage and hanging stuff and things like that. But I really like that look with the windows on the nose there. And you told me that you picked up an extra sheet of Polycore, and what do you intend to do with that eventually?
I intend to eventually to make some shutters for the front windows for when we're traveling, just to
Okay.
protect them a little bit, the
Yeah,
glass.
just to
so.
protect them, keep them from getting broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And when we were talking yesterday, we kind of came up with an estimate on what the trailer weighs. Now, you did get it weighed, hooked up to the truck, but the only thing that we weren't able to take into consideration was the tongue weight, because the truck's supporting some of the weight of the trailer on the tongue. Do you remember what we come up with an estimate?
I
on
think
that?
I think
4,500.
45 to 4,800
Okay.
pounds is what you kind of estimated
Yeah.
from the
Okay,
paperwork.
yeah. And of course, the interior is done really, really pretty, which we're going to look at here in just a little bit. But for now, why don't we do a quick walk around, and we'll start towards the nose and talk about your mini split. And
Sure.
I really like the way you did that. But I'm just going to let you guys tell us all about
Okay.
it. Come with us, Sharon.
Okay.
And,
I am rarely short for words.
So we-
okay. Well, I'm banking on that. Yeah.
So we mounted the mini split on toolbox here, which is one of the, they call them the under cab toolboxes, I think, is what they
Okay.
call them for pickup trucks.
Yeah.
And then the metal plate came from, what's that thing called again?
It was just an extension that we originally were going to put the mini split on.
Yeah.
And it just didn't quite fit right.
Yeah.
So he kind of took several
Ideas,
things and
really.
ideas and put them together to create what you have here.
There you
But
go.
yeah, and in fact, when he put this and this together and it matched everything here so well, of course, we had to have a mini split painted to match.
And also, when I put it up against the trailer, I forgot this too. The mini split would be up here, which would block part of the window too. So
yeah.
that's why I moved it down also. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's a it's a good
yeah, I
thing you
forgot
caught
to
that.
forgot
Yeah,
to mention that
for
the other
sure.
day.
And so what this is, so people will know, and then I'll probably go ahead and flash a photo up of what this truly is
Sure.
from one of the websites. But this is one of those tray kits that you can get where they have legs that actually attach to the tongue, and then they raise it up. And many of our viewers, I'm certain, have seen those utilized before, where people mount mini splits on them. But it also sets it up a little bit higher, and then they can put propane bottles underneath it, or just whatever, or a generator. But what you ended up doing here, for more than one reason, was you did away with the legs, mounted the toolbox there, and then just used the tray part to mount your mini split, and that worked out really well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good sturdy setup that way too. Now, what size is your mini split?
9,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And does it do well for you?
It does. Yeah. Well, this is the first time we've used it this weekend. So we used the heat last night. It worked well, and I had the air conditioning running when I was working on it
Yeah.
towards the end, and it cooled the place down very cold.
So yeah, you just finished this just recently, didn't you? So
Yes,
this
within the last.
pretty much brand new.
Yeah, the paint's still wet kind of thing. Yeah. So this is a
Yeah.
test run, really.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just kind of curious. What do you think you're going to be able to continue using the manual tongue jack?
That's
You
we're
think you
looking
might
at
have
the
to move
electric
on
ones, but it does strike here, but I can still wind it no problem.
Yeah.
And for we don't use it. We probably won't use it that often.
Okay.
Mainly for camping, so it's not a struggle for us to
I
just,
got you.
just crank it.
Okay. Yeah.
But if you ask me,
Uh-huh.
we're going to have an electric one.
Yeah.
He jumped right in there ahead of me. So yes, I
Why
we
did
already
I-
looked at the electric one, so that is on the
Yeah.
future thing
Why
to do.
did I even bring that up?
I don't know.
All right, why don't we go around over here? But one thing I do want to mention on our way over, I like the way you encased your line set in this tube.
That is under drain
Okay.
for the downspouts houses.
Yeah.
You could do it underground to a trench drain or so, or French drain.
Yeah.
So I cut it down the middle this way, opened it apart, and then cramped it around the pipes, and then zip tied it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looked you used some larger zip ties too, which will hold
Yes.
it a whole lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the nice fat ones there.
I did look for like a big shop vac hose, because I thought that would look better. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't find one big enough to wrap around it, so I decided to go with this.
Yeah.
And I got a piece underneath there, and it goes through here and up through the floor, just right inside this little triangle area. Mm-hmm. It's protected under there also, but I'm going to put a metal plate just to protect there's a little bit of the pipe underneath there that's exposed
Okay.
from the air conditioner. I just want to put a metal plate under there and protect it from.
Well, it really dresses it up really nice.
Yeah.
And it goes with the blackout package too
Yes.
real well too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All righty. All right. So what else we got going on over here? I see a water hose going in, city water going in, and I see
Yep,
a
city
sewer line
water.
coming out.
I got a little quick connect underneath here that's protected by the beams going this way along the trailer. And I have two gray tanks underneath it, mounted to the bottom of the floor with straps. I got they're 16-gallon gray tanks. I got 4 straps for each one, and the tanks are probably about 3.5 feet long. Mm-hmm. and they fit right in between the beams. I got it strapped up there pretty good.
And they're 16-gallon capacity.
16-gallon gray tanks,
And
yes.
they're both gray tanks?
Yes,
Okay.
one for the shower and one for the kitchen sink.
I got you. And so a lot of people don't know that those are available, but they will fit between the cross members.
Correct.
They're not so wide that they won't fit between the cross members, and most cross members are on 16-inch center, when I'm assuming yours is as well.
Yeah, and there's about a half inch, about an inch each side. And I got a little piece of lumber front and back. I kind of sandwich it in there so it wouldn't move back and forth. And I put those straps in very tight. So
I've researched those in the past, and about the biggest I ever found was 16-gallon capacity. I don't know if they make them a lot bigger than that now or not.
I don't know.
I'll have to
We
look
saw
at
the
that
6.
again.
Yeah.
We researched it, and it was a chore to find exactly what would fit.
Right.
It was not an easy find, but once we found it, we knew it would work based on all of our research.
Now, did these tanks come with automatically with a 3-inch tube sticking out of them?
Yes.
To mount your lug fitting?
Yeah, and
onto?
I glued in a piece of pipe and then fit the connection for the
Right.
Drain.
the drain onto that.
Yeah.
Each one has its own separate drain. I didn't connect them at all.
Okay.
Each one, I just got to move the drain pipe.
So you
for
move
each-
them from back and forth?
Yes,
so you didn't
back
use
and forth, yeah.
You didn't use a Y or anything like that?
No, not at all.
All right. All right. And I'm assuming you have a freshwater tank on the inside, am I right?
No, we
Oh,
don't.
You don't? Okay.
We don't, no, we
Okay,
just-
so you're going strictly city water?
Yeah,
Okay.
we may do that in the future. We thought we'd see if we'd do without it for now.
Well,
Well,
you-
and we liked your idea. You know how you have the ability to drive away, fill up your city water in the back of the van. That is a good option for us.
Okay.
Because we didn't want to give away that space inside to the water tank.
I understand. In fact,
And
yeah, one of our followers, what he actually ended up doing, he mounted because he doesn't have a freshwater tank in the trailer, and he set up where he has to be hooked to city water. But when he came to visit us once at a campground where they didn't have city water at the site, he ended up buying a water tank and putting it in the back of his pickup, and he mounted a pump on the
Yes.
pickup.
Yep.
And treated it like city water, and the pump would automatically kick off and on to feed water through the city water inlet on his trailer. And
Yes.
that's the way he made that work for him.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different ways you can do things like that.
Right, exactly.
yeah, and I knew I had seen that on your channel, whether it be you or somebody else. I knew I had seen it, so I said, it's doable for us to keep the space because we're always going to have a pickup truck. We're
understand.
always going to have the ability, or I should say something that has that open space that we can put a water tank in.
There you go. There you go. All righty. Want to head her on around to the back there? And here's where you got the trailer right here, right?
Yes.
Now, are they over there on the Florida coast?
I think they're all over the place. And we got it
Okay.
off I-10 just northwest of Jacksonville.
Okay.
Yeah, they have
All
them Tampa, they're Orlando,
Okay.
they're mind your step.
And the guy who helped us out, Bob's his name. He's a real helpful guy.
Good.
The one just northwest of Jacksonville. so.
Fantastic. And this is your 30 amp
Yes.
power inlet.
30
right
amp power.
here. Okay. All righty. Mighty fine. Now, we have us a garage.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll let you guys tell us all about it.
We put the screen up. That was an afterthought, really. We kind of added that on at the end. And then just enough room for storage. Have all these different storage containers for the hoses and just miscellaneous stuff that we keep in there. And for all the jacks at the bottom, the stabilizing jacks, we keep those in there. And tools,
Yeah.
miscellaneous stuff, really.
And with the idea that this being our first time out in it, it's now we have a punch list. Because having this open, we realize that wouldn't it be nice to have this, board like this, a couple pieces that would hook on and hang down so that when this is open, this is not exposed.
Ah.
So
Yeah, we just thought thought of that today, really.
yeah,
And then,
so we're, it's a constant movement of ideas.
Of course.
Yes.
And you'll have more of those ideas as time goes on, I guarantee.
Oh, exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
for sure.
looking at other people's across the street at
Yeah. I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah. Have you been over there and seen their trailer yet?
yeah, even
Yeah.
the bright. They got some pink ties, the wrap ties that holding the lights up on the porch, things like that. You don't think of and think, well, they'd be so handy to
Yeah.
use, you know.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And another thing I like about, and I wish they would have offered this when we had ours built, but you've got I call it a rear spoiler. But
Yes.
I think those are just so cool.
And
yeah, and I
look
got
at-
the light switch here for it.
Ah, wow. Cool.
Yeah.
And we ran electric, so there's electric under here. So if he needs to do anything in the garage with electric, he'll have access
Yeah, if we pull
to
in
it.
at nighttime, I can see back here to grab the hoses.
You
and
bet.
Things
You
like
bet.
that.
You bet. Well, it's the garage is cool.
Okay,
It is
good.
Really cool.
Yeah, we like it.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
fabulous.
And also, I keep the spare tire for the trailer in the truck, but that sits up. It just by chance. It sits up right in here
Really?
and just wedges right against here, so it keeps all that pushed back there. So I just tried it by an off chance when we were leaving the house, and it worked fine.
Well, fabulous. Absolutely fabulous. All right. Is there anything else you want to show us on the outside before we go on in?
The
No.
toolbox underneath the air conditioner. Do you want to do that or no?
Yeah, let's go ahead and look at that
Yeah.
and show them more about what you utilize that toolbox for,
Yes.
and then I guess we'll head in after that.
okay.
Yeah, I just keep the little gas canisters here. Keep those in there, in this box here, and the wheel chocks.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I feel this is getting too hot or something, if the sun gets on too much, I can always take the canisters out and store them under the trailer.
There you go. Yeah.
So,
Cool. All righty. All right. You ready to go inside now?
sure.
All
yeah.
right.
What you had?
Yeah, you got the standard door.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
our first one, which was a 7x16, we had the standard door, and I left a lot of DNA behind.
Oh, I bet.
We used to talk about that a lot in our videos, you know. But yeah. But this is just the thing that caught my eye more than anything else when I stepped in here yesterday. Is this being a 7x16, but it is so roomy.
Yes.
You know, you feel like you just have so much room in here, you know, and that's what really got me more than anything else, right there.
I don't know if it's the white ceiling doesn't kind of bring it down any. I'm not sure what.
Well, it is, you know, fairly. It's taller. I
Yes.
wonder. Yeah, that's full 7 foot, and that makes a big difference too. you
Yes.
know, on that, but yeah, no, it
Yeah.
just feels so roomy. But
Yeah, and that's one reason why we did the beds the way we did is we wanted to have this room, and by doing the beds this way, this gives us a couch during the day, and you know, versus having one large bed
Right,
pushed
exactly,
this
yeah.
way. So, and he did mimicked the sailboat and, you know, the boat little
Foothold.
foothold.
For when you're
And-
sleeping, yeah.
And it works out great. Put our nighttime pillows in there and cover that stuff up, and
Yeah.
it still gives us plenty of room to sit and, you know, just have a place inside to sit.
And when you're sleeping on it, you can still stretch out. You can
Oh,
stick your
absolutely.
feet just underneath that, and you can just go on. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty cool. We were kind of joking about that yesterday, I remember. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty cool the way that works out.
And then
sure.
up here, we got this idea from I don't know who.
Okay.
But the baskets along the top, and it just happened that when he built this bed here, it took two.
Yeah, I didn't plan that. I
Baskets.
just she was away out of town, and I did the bed,
Yeah.
put the legs on, and then these fit. Just zip tie these together.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
the same baskets as up there, and they just slide right in there. And we
That
drove all
works.
the way from, well, not all the way, but an hour and a half from Jacksonville. They didn't slide, so so I think they'd be okay.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure enough.
And then, of course, my must-have was a bathroom.
Uh-huh.
And we did, this is a very, very small footprint for a shower. And we did the porta potty, which
Yeah.
just barely makes it out for the shower. But,
And that's a Tetford curve.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
and it works great. And,
We got a little bamboo platform for the shower, and the shower drains. I'll take this out. That way you can see. And that's the shower drain directly into one of the tanks mounted underneath, underneath the trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
And I mounted these pieces of butcher block underneath here, teak, and took these off of the bamboo stand, put them on here just to bring it up that level, so it's one level in there
I see.
in the shower.
Yeah, because the shower slopes, so you
And-
compensate.
yeah, I've got one side a little bit thicker than the other, and
Yeah.
then it's a step up for the toilet from the shower pan, so I put this in here just so it's one level.
And your water heater, what are you using for a water heater?
You go ahead and do that, honey.
it's a Bosch off-brand type, and that's under here.
You step over here like this.
And it's just right here behind the,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
It's electric, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's a 4-gallon, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 4.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Yeah, we have one similar in a 7-gallon version, and it's worked quite well for us.
Okay, good.
And it only consumes about 1,440 watts when the heating element is full blast on it. Yeah.
Yes, and I have, when I did because I did all the electric, and, I made sure that I had my designated breakers. I did a 20 amp breaker for in here because I knew we'd be pulling a lot more energy and wattage. So, that's a dedicated plug and breaker, and same thing with the mini split.
So you did all the wiring, right?
I did all the wiring.
Yeah.
Yep,
So
she did a
you
good
got
job.
an electrician in the family, don't you?
Yep, she did a great job. I helped with the plugs and running the wires through the chaseways, and then you
Yeah.
figured out all the important things, and
Yeah.
I had never done 12 volt. That was the learning curve. What for me, because I've always done the electric. And once I got that, that was very, very straightforward. So once I,
Good
you
deal.
can YouTube anything.
Oh yeah, you can.
And
Yeah.
Yeah,
once
anything you want to know about anything is
Yeah.
probably on YouTube. That's for sure.
And I think the one thing that really concerned us with the entire build was the mini split. That was new territory, air conditioning of any type for us. So, but we YouTubed it, and we YouTubed it, and we YouTubed it. And the more we watched, we thought, we can get those gauges, we can get that compressor pump thing, and we did. And we just put it together and started, paused, stopped, the whole
turned
YouTube thing.
Turned it on, and it worked, and we're
and then-
surprised. And
it
yeah, it
just
worked
was
well.
perfect.
And you
So,
went, yay!
Yes,
exactly.
we did. Cracked open a beer to celebrate.
There you go. Hey, you're always trying to come up with ways to celebrate with a beer.
Oh, it's easy to do. Yeah.
It's easy.
You'd be surprised just what little
Celebrate just
we
waking up in the
celebrate
morning.
to get that beer.
I understand. I understand. So yeah, we'll go ahead and mention this to the viewers that you ran your chaseways, raceways. Some people prefer to call them raceways, so I try to take care of everybody and not trigger anybody. But that's what you have. All your wiring is run in these
Yes.
all through here, and which is really neat the way you did it. And then of course this is wiring here, coming down into your switch panels here.
Yeah.
And I think the way you did that is just really cool. Of course, I'm kind of partial to this kind of stuff when I see it,
Oh, yeah.
But because that's kind of what we did. But I just the way you did it is really pretty. It really come out pretty the way you did it, and I can see where it would be easy access because I can see you've got screws here. So if you need to get into something,
I can drop the whole thing down. These screws are holding the whole length up, so I can just drop the whole thing down.
really,
And then, yep,
then you have access to all the wiring.
all the
By
wiring,
doing
yep.
that, yeah.
And we followed your lead, the same thing with, you know, in the V and
You got a plug.
plug behind and, you know, same thing. And it just makes everything so streamlined and accessible.
And the 2 lights up front are on a separate switch. So this just controls these back 4 lights, and the one up there on the left controls the 2 up in the V.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I noticed you tow it with a Nissan
Titan.
Titan. Okay. And is it the V6 or the V8 version?
V8.
V8?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it probably doesn't even know this is back behind it. Or not too bad anyway.
Not too bad at all. No, not bad at all.
Yeah.
I mean, my gas mileage went way down, but
Well, we don't want to talk about
Yeah.
that.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But
But
yeah, it was fine. They pulled it no problem.
fabulous.
I got the weight distribution bars on there just to have them.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in that.
Yeah, and I got the sway bar, which I'm gonna try. I didn't put it on coming here. I'm gonna put it on just to see if it made it different on the way back,
Okay.
just to see. You know.
Yeah, okay. One thing I don't think we've talked about is this little black, is that a fold-up table?
Yes,
Yes.
it sure is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, and it. I put this bungee cord here just to hold it during travel, and then it folds up.
And it's all we need. It's just enough for the 2 of us, and we used it last night and works
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
it locks right in there.
I'm assuming you probably use your camping chairs outside and bring them.
No, we got
do
these.
You have an extra set of chairs?
You go and we'll show Bill those things.
They are the type of, they're in
You don't have to go through all that.
Okay, I was gonna
They're
say
the little
they-
round ones. You turn them and they
those
extend up.
discs,
Oh,
that
okay,
things that
yeah,
just extend
yeah.
up.
Oh, yeah, and they pack away real nice. And
Very
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
They're in one of those
There you
totes
go.
with a lot of
Uh-huh.
other things.
Yeah.
So.
About the size of a frisbee.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So that on both sides, and we didn't want to have extra chairs and
Yeah.
and things like that.
Well, sometimes it ends up being not just extra chairs, but extra clutter.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
exactly.
so I know
yeah.
exactly what you're, and we battle with that a lot. Of course, you know, when you live in it full time, you think you need this and you think you need that, and then later on you decide, no, I really didn't need that and don't need that. So then we gift a lot of stuff sometimes.
Sure.
because
Yeah.
of that. But guys, this thing is just gorgeous. I mean, I
Thank
just
you.
love the way you did it. It's so neat and tidy.
Yes,
You
yeah,
know,
that's what we like
that,
about it.
That is, you really did well. You did really well on it. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I can't not mention these. When I saw these yesterday and pointed them out to Deb, and you got those on Temu?
That's where Sharon
Yes.
got them from. Yeah,
And those, you know, to hold your towels here, and they're big giant clothespins. But I think it's just so cool and really adds to the decor in here, you know. And I like your colors too. I like the pastel tones and things like that. But it's not about me though. It's about you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it works for us.
Yeah.
yes, it
I
sure
like
does.
that. And we're going to start using that saying.
Do it. I gift it to you.
And also, I put a access here so I can get to the faucets in the shower. So I can
Okay.
unscrew this panel there too.
Yeah,
So
fantastic.
these all and this all that's got the
That's got your line set.
line
and your-
set
your-
in there.
Yeah, and your wiring for that. Yeah, I see that. And we didn't talk about your sink. So there we go. And we did not talk about how you did your cabinet doors here.
Yes,
So
these
are cool.
I just used regular sheets of 3/4 inch plywood from Lowe's or Home Depot, and it doubles up as the frame and the doors. So I just cut the doors out of the sheet, and then cut these inserts out of the plywood and put
And this is like a rattan
yes
product of plastic.
It's plastic, and we got it from Amazon, and people use it to redo their deck chairs and things like that. I think. So
What would be really neat about something like this is, say, someone that was building one that's going to be in a cold weather climate, and what that would help do is make sure that you had the heat flowing on in underneath your cabinets to help with your pipes and things like that. So that would be a great idea for people that's going to be in cold weather climates, you know, to do that like that. We actually, in our red trailer, we ended up actually putting large vents in the doors when we knew we were going to be spending a winter up in Arkansas.
Okay.
For the whole winter. And but this is a whole lot prettier. I wish I would have thought of that.
And I cut out a lot of the walls of the framework, I cut that out too to let air flow through and for weight too.
Yeah.
So let the air around the air conditioner,
Absolutely.
not the air conditioner.
Yeah, because here in Florida, where we are and live, we have to deal with the humidity.
Exactly.
So, you know, we had a 30 amp plug put in at the house, so we can plug it in and keep it going, you know, high temperature, you know, 80, 82 during the summer that it's sitting on the side of the house to keep everything fresh and, you know, because you know what a enclosed camper
Oh,
trailer,
yes. Yeah.
what that can look like if you don't keep that air flowing.
Yeah, and the neat thing about a mini split, I'm sure yours has a setting like ours where you can where you'll actually really take a ton of the humidity
Yes.
out of the trailer,
It does.
and you can almost go swimming on what ends up.
Yes. Well, we
sort of the
learned
two.
that's so funny you say that because when he turned it on the first time,
Yeah, I was just working away in here, and all of a sudden I heard this dripping, and then I realized that I didn't have the drain hose put outside, so I put it in a bucket temporarily. And then
Yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
that shows
And then
how
I
much.
drilled a hole in the floor there and put it outside, and it worked out fine.
of course, we'll go ahead and mention before we go, residential fridge. I'm assuming.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
correct. And to anchor it when we were on the road, I push it back a little bit, and then I got this little thing here, the same as on the fold-out table. Hook a bungee cord to here, diagonally to one up here,
I see.
and that holds it back there enough to.
That's a good idea. Very good idea.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time to show us your creation here. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just love it. And Deb and I both were super impressed with it when we came in here to look at it yesterday. And it's just gorgeous. It's beautiful. I don't know what else to say other than the fact that it's beautiful, roomy. You couldn't ask for anything more. And it's I'm sure it's going to serve you well. And I'm sure if we ever see you guys again, which hopefully we will sometime
Yeah.
down the road,
I'm
Yes.
sure we will.
you'll have come up with some new ideas, and you'll show us all about how you did all that too.
Yes.
Because that's just part of it. Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and sign off for now. This is Bill and Sharon and Fraser
Yep.
with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. And you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say we're not camping.
We
We
are
are
living.
living.
There you go. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.